fight with this thing, had to fight with setting everything up. Hope you like the new setup. And then I promptly fell asleep, which means I hope someone can give me some help so I can get some lunch, so I can really wake up because I know I have a lot to do today before 7:30 tonight. What is that, you ask? You'll find out. Let's go.
Can't do it. We'll do it live. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Mister, will you please wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up?
Good morning! Snowman here to all you Brock Purdy and San Francisco 49er haters. Shut up! I gotta thank you, Shane.
I mean, whatever happened to the games where breaking 100 points was, I don't know, unusual?
There was one word to sum up the All-Star weekend.
Trays. Cause we take this job so serious.
Splash Brothers, yes. Ray Allen, replace him with Steve Kerr. Reggie Miller, yeah.
What in the all types of blue hell?
Oh yeah! We're back. Good morning. Welcome to the tripped out Thursday edition of Snowman in the Morning. Glad to have y'all with us. This first hour, of course, is powered by Invader Coffee, fuel for the fearless. Use the code Snowman and get 50% off your purchase. All right, folks, it's draft day, so I have someone very special in hour one, and you know who takes over hour two. So let me not waste any more time because he's been patiently waiting for me. Please welcome the return of a very dear friend who will help us with our NFL coverage in his 8th season with us, Mike Debate from Patriots SI. Good morning, Mike. How are you, buddy?
Brian, I'm doing well. It's an honor to be back with you here on the airwaves. They say you can't go home. Who said that Bon Jovi and Jennifer Nettles didn't have it right? You can go back home again. I truly feel like I am home whenever I come on this show, and I thank you for being such a great friend to me throughout the years, bud.
Oh, man, it is a pleasure. As I said, Mike will be our senior NFL insider. He's in his 8th year with us. And today is the day. It's draft day. So everybody has put out their mock drafts. And Mike and I talked about this when he asked me, why don't you put out a mock draft? It's pretty simple. You don't know where everyone's going. And then when the draft happens and something and the pick that you wanted to go first didn't go first, and then everything's thrown out the window. It's like doing an NCAA March Madness bracket.
It's true. I mean, things fluctuate right up until the very moment Roger Goodell takes that podium and says we are kicking off. And in this case, this year, it's the Tennessee Titans who are first up on the clock. That to me is really when the time for the talk is truly over. Right up until then, it's anybody's guess as to what's going to happen. So I think this year there's so much intrigue in terms of what teams are doing. Hearing a lot of different things from teams this year, believe it or not, Brian. A lot of the scuttlebutt and a lot of the insider information that I'm getting, not just from the New England Patriots, the team I do cover, but from a lot of NFL teams and a lot of sources that I've spoken with, is that teams are really going based off of value for what they are looking for their own team. They're not necessarily worried about leaving potential generational talent on the board. If they zeroed in on a player or a particular group of players that they believe are going to help to move their roster forward, that's the guy they're going to go with. They're not going to worry about necessarily leaving someone on the table because he happens to be there. I think you're going to see a lot of that over the course of the next 3 days. I think a lot of the teams that you see here in the NFL making these picks this weekend are going to go based on the best fit for their team, not necessarily who's ranked highest on the big board.
Mike DeBake joining us here during hour one. He will join us for the full hour. And we're talking all things NFL draft. It is tonight at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we're going to break some teams down. And I'm going to start in Tennessee because I've read quite a few mock drafts. And the insider information I'm getting is crazy because they're looking at a quarterback. And the quarterback that they're looking at, according to those that I've spoken to, is Cam Ward out of Miami.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean that's a consensus pick. It seems to be the way that the Tennessee Titans are leaning. Mike Bergonzi confirmed on Tuesday, or I don't want to say officially confirmed, but he basically said everything but an official confirmation that Cam Ward is going to be his choice. And look, you know, I don't think it's a shock to a lot of people. I think people knew coming into this that Tennessee was probably looking at an upgrade at quarterback. Cam on the board right now. They feel him to be the best fit for their team moving forward. But, this is a class, Brian, that's very, very difficult to eyeball who's going to be that quarterback of the future, that guy that can take your team and propel it into the next, echelon of solid contending teams for many years to come. Is Cam Ward that guy? I know the Tennessee Titans are hoping he is. For their sake, he needs to be in order for this team to really rebound. Because to swing and a miss on a number one overall, that's a hole that's very difficult for teams to crawl out of. I'm not saying that's going to happen in Tennessee. I happen to think that Cam is a good fit there, but they need to be absolutely sure this is the guy that they're going to hitch their wagon to for a number of years to come.
Yeah, they have to be sure because they're in need of a franchise quarterback. They haven't had one since Steve McNair was in Tennessee. And of course, if you have a quarterback, you know how I think with every team in the league, you can have all the stars that you want in your skilled positions, but you're nothing without an offensive line. That's something Tennessee definitely needs to address.
Absolutely. For years, we've been saying it here on this program. I've been saying it on my previous podcast, all over the airwaves throughout any NFL fandom podcast. You'll hear build from the trenches because that's where the championships are won. It's not the sexy pick, but a lot of times using those high level picks to draft solid offensive linemen, sustain teams for many years to come. We've seen the dynasties do it. And we've seen the teams that are, perennially contending year after year for Super Bowl berths. They always focus on fielding a solid offensive line. So if the Tennessee Titans are going to do that, and Cam Ward is their guy, and by all indications that he is, they need to continue to grow this team by surrounding him with solid talent along the offensive line. If they do that, then I think Cam Ward will be a solid fit and a very good fit for Tennessee for a number of years.
They got to build that offensive line. Of course, they don't have Derrick Henry. We're spending a lot of time with Tennessee because they are on the clock. They pick number one. Let's jump down to number 11. You know the team that I love and I cover. That's the San Francisco 49ers, littered with injuries, poached in free agency. They freed up a lot of money because they are talking to Brock Purdy and they are going to correctly sign him to an extension. the line is first. And for many of the big boards that I've read, they're going to stick with that and build on the offensive line because that's the one thing they really need with the return of Christian McCaffrey, the return of Isaac Guerrero. They're going to find a couple of running backs in the second, third, and fourth rounds in the later rounds because they always find a gem in the later rounds. Joe Montana, hello. But they must protect. I beg you say their prize pick in Brock Purdy, who's gone from Mr. Irrelevant to someone very relevant for this team. So they are thinking and looking offensive line for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. I think that the only way that you might see them deviate from that is if a scenario that last week I would have told you is unthinkable. Today, I'm telling you, is not completely out of the realm. And that's defensive tackle Mason Graham falling all the way to number 11. If they do that, I do expect the San Francisco 49ers to at least kick the tires and take a strong look at potentially drafting Graham. But other than that scenario, I completely agree. I've seen a lot of people say defensive line or maybe edge. I think there's some talent fit issues within the prospects that are going to be available at number 11. So I don't see them doing that unless they feel that they're going to be locked into a player that's going to vault them into that next step. But there will be players available at that number 11 spot that I believe could help this team. Guys I'm looking for right now, primarily scouting some tackles. I know they could use some help along the entirety of the offensive line. The guy that I continue, to hear talked about with them is Kelvin Banks Jr., the tackle out of the University of Texas. He could be a possibility. I definitely like what he brings to the table. Someone that I continue to scout for the New England Patriots as a possibility. Missouri tackle Armand Membu. If he ever falls to number 11, I don't think the San Francisco contingent could run fast enough to the podium to be able to pull him in. He is a phenomenal talent. I think probably one of the most physically gifted of all of the linemen that's in this class right now. So these are the names to expect for the San Francisco 49ers. And don't necessarily discount offensive tackle Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. I know he's coming off of an injury. This is an awfully talented kid that could have been I believe, in the mix for the number 1 tackle in this draft had he not suffered his injury. So if he's been given a clean bill of health, and by all indications he has, that's a name to watch as well.
Kelvin Banks is the name that I'm looking at for San Francisco. You mentioned the big tackle out of Texas, great blocker, great footwork. He can, and here is the bonus that I love about Kelvin Banks. He can play on the edge at tackle. He can also slide inside. So he is a great offensive lineman who can play outside or inside. And it's the interior line that the 49ers are building up with some of the picks they've had in the past. They've lost a couple to free agency, including Mike McGlinchey, who is now in Denver. But that kind of skill, that kind of versatility is what the 49ers have had in the past. Guy McIntyre, Jesse Sapolu, Steve Wallace, Harris Barton. And it's the kind of versatility they continue to be and continue to look for.
Without question. And Banks is so well suited to be able to play on either side. Don't forget, when you look at what he's been able to do and the accolades he's been given throughout the years, this is a kid who won the Outland Trophy. That is the best interior lineman in the country. He also won the Lombardi Award for the best overall offensive lineman in the country last year. So a lot of talent. He's got an explosive first step that really helps him close on opposing defenders and be able to seal off blocks. I like the way this kid is suited to block in the run game. That's so important for a Kyle Shanahan offense. And then you look at his pass protection, which does need a little bit of work, in my opinion. But at the same time, if you have him surrounded by competent talent, this is going to be something that I think he'll be able to move into on his own. And even if they do have to kick him inside and he's not a specific tackle at the pro level, 33.5-inch arms is his arm length. I know some people have been concerned about that. That's more than perfect for a guard, and it's adequate for a tackle. So you want to talk about a chess piece that you can move all throughout this offensive line, and a guy that's capable of playing multiple positions. Yeah, Banks would be, I think, a very good fit in Santa Clara.
And looking at that and looking at Banks and how he fits, I want to bring up a lineman that played 3 different positions and it was a Pro Bowler at 3 different positions for San Francisco. You know this name very well. Jesse Sapolo out of Hawaii is who Banks reminds me of.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, you can see it, the footwork. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because, as I said earlier, an explosive first step, his ability to close around an opposing defender, these are all things you saw Jets do for a number of years. So, yeah, I think that in a lot of ways, there are a lot of mirrors to his game. And look, I know every single year we all hear about the buy in to the game of football, the love for the game of football. I think you're seeing someone like a Kelvin Banks Jr. that will come in and find that love for the pro game in a organization that is steeped in tradition in the San Francisco 49ers. You walk through the doors of the 49ers organization, and the big organizations have this, Brian, the Steelers and the Packers, and for lack of a better term, I'll throw my own team into that hat, the New England Patriots in the last few years, the Kansas City Chiefs. These are teams that have that pedigree. The moment you walk through the door, if you're not motivated to play for a franchise like that, probably don't belong in the league. So anyone concerned about Kelvin Banks's buy-in to the game of football, I would not be worried about that. Everything that I've heard says that he's locked in, dialed in, and he's ready to contribute day one. So again, if the Niners are looking at pure upgrades on the offensive line, I think Kelvin has a chance to be there at number 11. As a matter of fact, I think my prediction is that he will be. I think this is a great pick for Shanahan and company.
Let's go up to number 4, and your beloved New England Patriots rebuild all the way around with the number 4 pick. Who do you look at for the Patriots to draft, and how will that particular pick fit with your team?
Well, again, I think it comes down to need. I think it comes down to desire. I look at the Patriots right now and I say that ultimately I do believe they'll decide on Will Campbell, the offensive tackle out of LSU. Now, I know, again, arm length, wingspan length has been the knock on Will. Everyone else has been or everything else in his game has been highly praised. Whether you're looking at his ability to do what he does along the offensive line in terms of footwork, in terms of being able to stay with his, opposing defenders, he's able to do it. The one thing that I think is really, the one thing that I think is very much a part of what he is able to do is keep his prey in front of him. He doesn't get beat very often, and that's very, I don't want to say odd, but I think it's very unusual for someone with arm length or wingspan, types of issues. So it shows, I think, a great deal of athleticism. This is the Patriots' biggest need. They have not had a solid left tackle the way that they've needed to for quite some time. And at this point, Campbell gives them the best opportunity, and I think they will get that opportunity with him. The only way I see them going elsewhere is if for some reason the Giants or the Browns do something unexpected and either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter are there. I'm a firm believer in not leaving generational talent on the board. I think they'll at least kick the tires, but save for that, if they're pick and stick at number 4, it's Will Campbell out of LSU for the Pats.
We'll keep taking a look at teams in the draft and their needs. We'll pause for a break. Mike DeBake, our senior NFL insider, is with us for the entire hour. What are your picks for your team? Drop them in the chat and we'll compare notes. Let's take a break. More draft talk with Mike DeBake. Snowman in the morning, back in the deuce.
This is Snowman in the morning.
People tell me how lucky my daughter is to have been adopted. But really, we're the lucky ones. Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
This planet has been great to me. It's given me gifts that I can't even explain. It's given me adventures and memories I'll never forget. And Battleborn, I think, has given me the opportunity to go beyond and give something back. How can I be a better custodian to this planet and the place I live? That's where I am with Battleborn. Let's make the planet a better place.
Whether it's news, the largest egg producer finds bird flu in chickens at a Texas plant, weather, devastating tornadoes rip through the heart of the United States, inspiration, a breast cancer survivor completed the journey of chemotherapy and now begins a future one of matrimony, or sports. Michael Jordan is shown on a photo with Diddy. LeBron James has a video extolling the virtues of a Diddy party. This has been yet another beating a dead horse presentation. We got you covered. BS3 Network, in association with Comey Media Incorporated, proudly present The Morning Shift with Cole Johnson. Live every weekday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like Boomstick Lady. No free throw is safe from the roar of her sticks. SeatGeek helps her find a seat in the direct eye line of the shooter so she can sit where her boomsticks make the biggest boom. Everybody okay? SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze car.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crayon they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can beat up black people.
As she takes you through the week's paces in Baseline. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific Time Zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.
Mister, how do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
The best sports show keeps on rolling. 31 after the hour. And I'm so happy to say this because of the stations that we are on. And I happily say, we owe you an ID. Let's pause for station identification. This is Snowman in the Morning.
This is WJKS, Indianapolis, Chicago, and the world.
Thanks for stations for joining us. Mike Debate joins us as well, our senior NFL insider. And Mike, let's take a look at, I want to take a look at the Chicago Bears. There's a lot of, I'll go ahead and say it out loud, false hope with the Bears, not realizing how much they have to rebuild around Caleb Williams, because they're going to stick with Caleb Williams. I'm still not sold on him yet, but he only goes as far, and you've heard me say this before, as his offensive line. And they didn't go very far under Caleb Williams with that porous, absolutely porous offensive line they have.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, this is a great example of a team with a quarterback with a lot of promise, I'm kind of in the same boat that you are in terms of being a little hesitant to go all in and push all my chips on the table when it comes to Caleb. I still think there are fundamental issues that he has to work through, but I think the Bears are much closer to finding the guy they've been looking for so long with Caleb than they have been in quite some time. So I think he's the guy that they can hitch their wagon to, but it's got to be all about that offensive line. The one thing that makes me feel a little bit better about Chicago, and I don't think this is the only move that needs to be made here, I think they need to continue to make more, was the addition of Joe Tooney in the offseason. You know, from my years of coverage up here in New England, Tooney is one of the most gifted offensive linemen I've ever had the chance to cover, and going to Kansas City only enhanced his game. Now, yes, there's been injury history over the course of the last couple of years. He's getting a little longer in the tooth, but I don't think you're going to find a lineman anywhere in the NFL that knows more about playing every position on that line than Joe Tooney. He's done it all. He's played tackle, he's played the interior, which is where he's at his best, and he's taken snaps at center. Now, obviously, you don't want Tooney taking regular snaps at tackle. We saw what happened in the Super Bowl. That's not going to sustain Caleb Williams if it couldn't sustain Patrick Mahomes. So that's going to be an issue there as well. What the Bears have to do is they have to prioritize either finding pass catching weapons or maybe even a running back that could possibly take some pressure off of Caleb moving forward, or building around that line. They sit at number 10 right now. If they stay at number 10, you're probably looking at the same type of crowd that we talked about when it came to the 49ers and their ability and their players that they're going to be scouting. But at the same time, I also wouldn't completely take a skill position player off the table for Chicago right now.
It is, and I'm not sold on. I am not sold on Caleb Williams. I said that at the top of last season. You heard me say it. You were with me when when they made the pick, and my eyes were rolling in the back of my head, going, "Who's this Caleb Williams, and why have they picked him?" I stand by my statement when it comes to Caleb Williams that his best days were in Norman, Oklahoma, in particular a game against Texas, because he didn't impress me that much at USC, and yet the Bears are pushing all their chips to the middle of the table when it comes to Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think a lot of that was reputation surrounding him. Maybe it was a little bit of the USC mystique. I know you heard some of the knock on Drake May coming from University of North Carolina, that it wasn't as big time of a school as an LSU or as a USC, so that relegated him to third. I still think that Jaden Daniels, as much as I am a fan of Drake May, and I love what the Patriots have done to try to help him out, they got a lot more work to do, but I like the approach that they're using now. I still think Jaden Daniels is the gem of that draft class. But again, the Bears were in desperate need of help at quarterback. They saw an opportunity to strike while the iron was hot. If it's any consolation to Bears fans out there, having Caleb Williams is someone that I would feel very secure about seeing the other options in this year's draft class. I think that they've got a guy that they can try to build, but again, it's going to depend on the weapons around him. I don't see him being the type of quarterback that's going to be able to elevate a subpar team around him and carry them until those guys reach his level. They need to get some real solid talent around him, in front of him in the line, and then, of course, at the skill positions, in order to really make sure that he reaches his potential. And you've got a limited window. Rookie contracts are great, but they are limited. And eventually that extension is going to come calling, and the Bears are going to have some decisions to make there.
They already have some decisions to make with one DeAndre Swift. And you mentioned the Bears' need for a running back, a backup, especially because they really underused DeAndre Swift.
Oh, absolutely. And it makes me laugh a little bit that a lot of people are starting to think that the Bears may try to wait things out. And if Ashton Gianti falls to number 10, then they'll run to the podium to try to pick him up. I don't think Ashton is falling that far. I think a lot of the smoke that you hear about him moving his way meteorically up the draft is followed by a lot of fire. I think this kid is catching fire right now, and I think you're going to see him taken before 10. But at the same time, the Bears need to embrace the running back that they have on staff, and DeAndre is capable of handling that load. So, yeah, I'm always intrigued by rumors and things like that of this point. But again, I really think that DeAndre is a runner that could complement Caleb's style so well and open things up. This new regime in Chicago is definitely going to have to do a much better job of scheming the talent that they have around Caleb. That's going to be a big part of his development as well.
Ryan McCarthy joins us in the Fanatics feedback zone. He says, what are Mike's thoughts of the Jets at 7? The consensus says Tyler Warren out of Penn State, but could they draft a tackle? Let's talk New York Jets, shall we?
Yeah, I think the Jets right now are a wild card. I think they could go in a number of different directions. I like tight end for them. There's a very deep class. Obviously, Tyler Warren is the top of the heap when it comes to the prospects that are there, but they could end up going in that direction as well if they choose to go in the tackle direction. Obviously, you want maybe somebody on, the opposite side of Elijah Vera Tucker and someone that can help take the pressure off. If you want someone in the interim, in the middle, this could all be options for the Jets. Right now, they've got all the pieces around them. I think they're just lacking that over-the-top quarterback that could allow them to become perennial contenders in the AFC East. So if they're building a structure and building a foundation for a quarterback to want to come into, a veteran that can lead this team, the best way to do it is beef up that offensive line. And that could be a definite option for the New York Jets.
Absolutely. Let's stay in the AFC East and look at the Miami Dolphins. They have done Tua a big misservice since they drafted him. I was the first to say it on this program. You heard me say it. Quite a few others thought I was crazy, but I say again, they have done Tua a horrible misservice when it comes to Tua Tagovailoa. And the misservice that they've done, 2 of them, as a matter of fact, no running game. I love you, Raheem Mostert, but he can't stay healthy. And second, no offensive line. None. They have done to a misservice, and until they fix that up, they will not be contenders.
Oh, without any question. And again, you're looking at a team that is very heavily rumored to be in the market for a tackle, and I think that's exactly where the Dolphins are going to go, or at least the interior of the offensive line. This is a must for this team. The guys that they've got to come in have either not played up to potential, or they weren't capable of handling the load of covering and protecting a quarterback that has his issues when it comes to staying upright and staying healthy. And Tua Tagovailoa, when Tua is protected and he feels secure, yeah, he's as good a thrower as anyone in the league. But that doesn't happen often enough for the Miami Dolphins to be effective. I think Mike McDaniel sees that. I think he's starting to feel the heat a little bit on the seat that he's sitting on in Miami Gardens, Florida right now. So it's I think very smart for the Dolphins to be looking for offensive line help. And I think they go with that route, whether it be the best tackle available or the best interior lineman available. That's where need is going to meet BPA at that point. And I do believe that they'll go with the best available offensive lineman they can find.
Bruce Barmy joins us, and I meant to lead with this morning. He says condolences for the Bears' loss and a loss for the football community. That was an awesome team in '85. Of course, we're talking about Steve Mongo McMichael losing his battle to ALS, and he was a monster for that Bears defensive line. Played with them for 12 seasons and was every bit of what the Bears and Mike Ditka needed when they drafted Mongo.
Absolutely. Legend in every sense of the word, whether you're talking about a football player or whether you're talking about the wrestling ring. I think a lot of people, may remember, Steve from his days in World Championship Wrestling, not only, getting in the ring, but also being the color commentator. He touched many lives throughout his tenure and throughout his life. Of course, the New England Patriots family remembers him fondly. He was their draft pick in 1980. So Mongo is someone that is not only being mourned right now by the Patriots organization, the Bears, obviously, most prominently, and the Packers, with whom he played in 1994, but all throughout the NFL right now. And the brave fight that he put up in such a debilitating disease, I think inspired so many. So he will be missed. Most importantly, he'll be remembered, I think, very fondly, and someone who will always be used, I believe, as an example of courage and strength on the field, and definitely courage and strength away from it as well.
Yeah.
The football community lost a good one yesterday.
Yeah, we miss you, Mongo, and hope that his family is in good spirits. I know they are because they watched him fight ALS. It was all over the news. Me being born and raised in Chicago, couldn't get away from that Bears defense with Mongo. And Mongo, we love you and we miss you, buddy. Let's go to Dallas. What are they doing? I will pose that question right now before the draft even happens or our coverage thereof. What are they doing and what do they plan to do?
You know, your guess is as good as mine, Brian. That is the one team that always baffles me. And it always comes up anytime I'll do work as an NFL insider. People wondering, though, what do you think of the Cowboys? Well, that's one team that always makes me scratch my head because you never really know what they're going to do until draft night. Look, all indications are that they're looking to lock on to a wide receiver that can help take some of the pressure off of CeeDee Lamb, whether they're looking for a perimeter threat, which according to a lot of what I'm hearing is where they're looking, or if they're going to go, internally and look for a Z option as well, someone who could really be like a 1 and 1A type deal to CD. But again, I mean, you're looking at someone like Dak Prescott who's had his injury history throughout the years, a monster contract that I know Dallas is eventually going to want to shed from their books. I think any team would, considering the amounts that are still owed there. They went out and traded with the Patriots for Joe Milton. I think Joe is a good, solid prospect. I think he's someone that could, turn some heads when he's in there. But there are a lot of intangibles in his game that still need to be worked on. If you're listening and you're a Cowboys fan out there right now, I will tell you, have reasonable expectations for Joe Milton this year. If Dak starts to struggle a little bit, don't be clamoring for the backup to come in right away and say he can right the ship and take you to that next level. There's still a lot that Joe has to work on. But if he does work on it and he gets the proper instruction and the proper tutelage, he can be a solid quarterback in this league, maybe even a regular starter, but he's still a little ways away from that. So in that respect, what do? You want to try to surround this team with good young talent. They could go in a number of different directions at this point, but from what I'm hearing, it's probably going to be somewhere either at wide out or maybe even a good, solid pass-catching tight end that they feel could be a big weapon for Dak Prescott.
But the weapon that they're missing is a running game.
Thank you.
And a running back. They have missed that weapon since Emmitt Smith.
Yep.
They have not had that kind of weapon since they had the triplets. Of course, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, Michael Irvin. They also had Alvin Harper on that team. Jay Novacek, their tight end. They don't have those kind of pieces that can make them stick their chest out and say, hey, we're finally back offensively. Offensively, in the last 3 years, they've only had a total of 6 games where they were really clicking offensively all over the place. And the reason for that is they don't have the weapons. They just don't have. I think we've lost Mike. We'll try to get him back here. But with the Cowboys, they just don't have the weapons. And they haven't had the weapons in a long time. In a very long time. We'll take a break right here, and hopefully we'll get Mike back on the line. But when y'all come back, we'll go over some more of the draft. And then at 12:05, Mike Drop Moran takes over the show. Oh, boy. Back after this.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meet beef of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Mike debates with me, Snowman here, as we count you toward the top of the hour, 9 minutes from the top of the hour thereof. Mike, you still with us?
I am still with you. I do apologize for that before, a little audio cut out there, but I am still with you.
Good. Okay, I said it before the break about the Cowboys. They just don't have the weapons to surround Dak Prescott. And to me, Dak Prescott has not been all of that since he came into the league from Mississippi State. Now, a lot of Cowboy fans would look at me and go, are you crazy? Do you look at his numbers? I do look at his numbers, but I also look at the team surrounding him, and they haven't had that team.
No, they really haven't. And in a lot of ways, I agree with you. Should they be looking at someone that can be that rock, that can handle the rock, basically, that can be the running back of the future to really take that pressure off of Dak? Yeah, in my opinion, they should be. Now, we're hearing a little bit that Dallas may feel that because this is such a deep running back class that they want to go for a pass-catching wideout early on and maybe wait to the second round to draft that running back. I know Travion Henderson out of Ohio State is a name that keeps being bandied about by someone who may interest the Dallas Cowboys brain trust. But, you know, at this point, I wouldn't rule out an offensive tackle in this spot either. I know there were some guys that could slip to that level, maybe an interior lineman, but at the same time, in the first couple of rounds, I do believe that Dallas is going to need, without any question, to address that running back position because you're absolutely right, Brian. They need that guy that can take the pressure immediately off of Dak Prescott and make things a little bit more cohesive in Dallas and make sure that that offense lives up to expectation.
Stay in the NFC East before we go to the top of the hour. And let's take a look at Washington. A season for the ages. First time they've been in the playoffs in a while, and they got as far as the NFC Championship, but couldn't compete with the high-flying Eagles in Philadelphia. What do the Redskins need to do to improve and have an even better season than last year? They already signed Deebo Samuel in a trade. One thing I am afraid of with Washington, they have Terry McLaurin at their number one. Debo's going to want to be a number one, but I don't think he will be. So, what do the Redskins do to get Debo into the offense? And where do they look in the draft to bolster their team from what happened last year?
Well, I agree with you. I think Debo is going to be used as more of a dual threat. You can see him coming off the jet sweep. That's his style. That's his MO. And that's exactly how I think Washington is going to want to deploy him. So if he's not going to be your number one, do you go after someone in the latter part of the first round that could be a typical number one receiver for years in this league? There are guys that represent that. I know Matthew Golden is someone that players are that a lot of draft pundits are very high on. I do not see him slipping to number 29. I think he's going to be drafted long before that. I think his draft stock has risen meteorically over the course of the last few weeks. But a guy that I keep looking at is Emeka Egbuka, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. This kid is a prototypical Z, a plug and play, someone that can come in and automatically transform an offense. If he's going to be your top guy and Jaden Daniels, can exploit his abilities on the field, this would be a great fit for Washington. If they don't decide to go offensively, you may see them go to the safety position and try to dip in there. I know Malachi Starks is someone who continues to be mentioned as a possibility for the Washington Commanders. So there's a lot that could be done there in Washington, but they have the guy under center right now. They've got their man in the quarterback position in Jaden Daniels. Now it's about surrounding him with talent with which he'll feel comfortable for a number of years. So they're in a good spot. And for the first time in a long while, Washington can feel very secure heading into this 3-day weekend that they have the right brain trust of running this regime.
Speaking of brain trust, let's take a look at my wife's team. She'll be heading the coverage, and that is the Indianapolis Colts. That team, as long as I've been covering them now, is a mess. And they're still depending on Anthony Richardson to be that guy. Now, they traded for Daniel Jones. I think Daniel Jones is going to wind up being the number one starter come opening day. But what do you do if you're Indianapolis, if you're Shane Steichen, and you want to get some weapons around potentially Daniel Jones being their starter? You have Jonathan Taylor. They sorely misused him, even though he got 1,000 yards last year. But they sorely misused him. Taylor, to me, is kind of a Roger Craig type. Get him out of the backfield and get him some passes. What do the Colts do? And I say interior out, their offensive line for potentially, and I'll say it again, Daniel Jones being their starter.
Yeah, if Daniel Jones is going to end up being their starter, this gets very intriguing for the Indianapolis Colts because you've got a number of offensive linemen that can fill a void in Indy and really help to do it. Guys that may be right now ranked toward the bottom half of that first round, maybe even early second round type grade on players. Guys like Gray Zabel, guys like Josh Simmons that we talked about earlier, Josh Connolly Jr. From the Oregon Ducks. These are guys that all of a sudden could rise their way up through the ranks and potentially be an option for the Indianapolis Colts along the offensive line. Obviously, the hot name for Indy is a tight end right now. Colston Loveland, I think, has been mocked to the Indianapolis Colts by every major outlet and every major pundit that I've followed all throughout this draft cycle. And I myself, have found myself looking at his fit in Indy and saying it's a hand in glove. But again, they see things that we don't see. They know things that we don't know about their future plans. If they are going to be using Daniel, they do have to make sure that he's going to be well protected. And look, that's really the same case with Richardson as well. I mean, obviously he requires, a great deal of protection, but if they're looking at a more pure pocket presence, I really think they should be giving at least a second look towards some offensive linemen. But if it's not, yeah, Colston Loveland makes an awful lot of sense for this Colts team.
Colston Loveland, 6'6", 248 out of Michigan. They're all the mocks that I've seen, they're mocking him toward the Colts, which really gives 10-year veteran Mo Alley Cox some help at the tight end position. It wasn't but 7 years ago they had 3 very capable tight ends, including Mo Alley Cox, that can catch the football and catch it well. Right. Colston Loveland could be that hybrid tight end that the Colts haven't had since Dallas Clark. There's a name for you, but Colston Loveland seems the perfect fit at tight end for the Colts. He can start for them immediately and give Mo Alley Cox some help in a 2-tight offense.
Oh, absolutely. And he is the type of guy that can handle that. He can be your route run around in the field and be primarily a pass catcher, but also I don't think he gets enough credit for being the type of blocker that he is. He's a very complete tight end, and I'm not comparing the two because their games are different, but in my opinion, he's still the best tight end in the game today, and that is George Kittle. He reminds me a little bit of him in the fact that he can be a dual threat and not simply a weapon catching the ball. So yeah, a lot to like with this kid. And again, if Indy feels that they can utilize the other parts of the draft to help fill up some voids along the offensive line, yeah, I think Loveland's going to be wearing Indianapolis blue for at least the next few years.
Mike DeBay joining us here as he starts his 8th season of coverage with us here on Snowman in the Morning and Snowman Multimedia. Mike DeBay from Patriots SI giving his thoughts on the draft and the picks therein. Mike, I love you, buddy. Thank you very much, and I look forward to this season with you, my friend.
Absolutely, Brian. I'll be along with you every step of the way, and it's always an honor and a privilege. You take care, my friend.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Bill.
All right, we'll take a break, and it's the Token Female Takeover. Snowman in the Morning, back in the deuce, man.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code SNOWMAN for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
One of the great things about ordering meals from Mother of Macros is that you can do it from the comfort of your own home. Click the national or local delivery link to access the menu, and we'll ship the meals right to your door. We understand you won't always have time to plan, shop, prepare, and cook to provide healthy nutrition for your family, so the process is simple and saves you hours. We know you're busy, so our meals are professionally prepared and packaged. You only need to heat them up and enjoy. We provide macro-balanced, delicious meals, chock full of fresh, local ingredients with none of the stuff you don't want to eat. Plus, our menu changes every week, keeping your taste buds wanting more. We take care of your meals so you can worry about everything else on your list. Mother of Macros.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E. Digger.
and then you have Ray J. Like, I
Look at
can't
Ray
stand
J.
that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meet of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
During bad weather, driving can become downright dangerous.
What's your emergency, please?
Trust Battle Vision Storm, the revolutionary glare reduction glasses that turn your sight bright during bad weather at night or during the day. Watch your ordinary vision become extraordinary. Battle Vision Storm uses light optimizing lenses that block blue rays so you see clearly in heavy rain at night or blinding snow during the day. Heavy rain, snow, sleet, or fog can make it impossible to drive. Not with Battle Vision Storm. Get your Battle Vision Storm for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs and supply chain shortages, this may be your last chance to get your very own at this low price. There is a strict limit of 4 Battle Vision Storm per order while supplies last. Don't wait, order now.
Call 1-800-483-6319 or visit battlevisionstorm.com. So call 1-800-483-6319 now.
Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service, we got it all. And when you sign up today and use the code Snowman, you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to betus.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit snowmanmultimediasports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to snowmanmultimediasports.com/fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
It's no secret. Today's consumer wants convenience and likes things on the go. They want to be listened to and receive instant solutions to their queries. This can often make or break the customer service experience. That's why it makes convenient interactions easy for you. Whether your customers want to connect with you via text, Facebook Messenger, Google, Instagram, or website, all messages now come to the one easy-to-use inbox, so you don't have to check a dozen different sites from the platform. From here, you can send SMS or email, answer questions, schedule appointments, take payments, and close more deals simply by messaging back and forth with your customers. When someone searches for a business like yours, they will look at your reviews. So unless you have more positive reviews, they'll choose someone else. Luck makes it easy to collect hundreds or even thousands of reviews from your customers. Simply send a review invitation or create automation that requests customer reviews right after the sale, or maybe right after a service is completed. It will take them 30 seconds or less to leave the review. Now those reviews will show up on the search result and increase your ranking that matters most. Plus, our advanced reporting will show you exactly where your leads are coming from and if your website or ads are doing their job. So why are you waiting? Put your business way in front of your competitors, get more leads, convert more of those leads to paying customers by getting started with today.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
Well, it's all about the NFL draft tonight, but it's the WNBA draft that we recently covered, and my wife was with me when I covered it, and she just walks by sometimes and go, "Nuh-uh, that didn't happen." And now she's got my children doing it. They'll walk by and they'll do the same thing while I'm on a roll with something. They'll just walk by. My daughter Sonia just walks by and go, "Nope, that didn't happen." And I fall out. Think I care? Hell no. That's my family, and I'm having fun. Speaking of family, here's Allie. Mike Drop Moran is with us as she is every Thursday. How are you, my dear? Great to have you.
I'm doing great, my brother. How about yourself?
Let's see. Happily married, got children. They all tease me. They all pick on me. There's a 2.5-foot smile on my face whenever I talk sports around them, and they just come by and go, "Nope, that didn't happen." I'm feeling wonderful, my dear. I am wonderful.
Though nothing like kids to humble you to within an inch of your life. I hear you. I feel you. 100%. Yeah, I had. Well, and yours was not the only one with the predictions busted. 100%. Oh God. Yeah, it's humiliating. But that's okay too.
When I did my March Madness picks for the women, we did them live on the air, and right after I signed off, my wife took a look at my picks and she says, "You only have one pick right." I said, "What's that?" She says, "Look at your national championship." I said, "Well, I believe in them. I believe in Connecticut."
Yeah, of course.
And she says, "That's the only one you're going to get right." And I looked at her and I said, "You're probably right."
That's it. Well, you got the big one. You take your victories where you can, because in this business there aren't that many. Nope. So you just have to take them where you get them. And yay! Well, I got crazy about my NFL picks every week with the Weekend Sports Report. Beating the Grobber, beating Steve Leventhal. That was my joy. My love, my joy. Speaking of, we must take a moment to remember Steve Mongo McMichael.
Yes.
One of the sweetest, most gentle, most caring men I have ever met in the NFL. It was so odd. I started off covering him way back when. It was the most important thing on planet Earth for me to be in that locker room with the Chicago Bears. He was there when I started in 1989, and we had such a fantastic time. He was always the nicest guy, and both his first and second wives were very nice too. I used to guard the locker room, and Deborah was there when I first started, and then later on it was his wife Misty, and they were just the sweetest human beings, both of them. I was so happy when he got Misty, and then they had their daughter. That was kind of the fulfillment of Steve's destiny, so to speak, because football was only part of what this man was about. He was also about love. He was about sharing. He was about caring. Even I think it had to have been like 15 years later, I ran into him at a SCORE event, and he goes, "Darling!" He was in good shape then, and it was like being swallowed by a giant teddy bear when he hugged you. So he fought an incredible battle with ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease. He smiled as much as he could for as long as he could. I'm so glad that he was able to see himself be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. Those kinds of things. I felt bad that Ron Santo couldn't revel in in that long fought victory. I mean, it was sad he couldn't actually get to Canton, but his bust is there, and I am so glad for the ability that the NFL electors did to get him into the Hall of Fame before he passed, so he could have that joy. It's sort of like I can picture God saying something along the lines of, "Well done, good and faithful servant," and then saying, "Now, back me on that pass." It's I could just see him because he was a tough guy out on the. Oh my God, he once said, and I can't remember if he said it to me or he said it to somebody else, but he said, "You can't be afraid to get in there and take the man parts."
He's right. He's right. I met several of the '85 Bears, including Otis Wilson.
Oh,
He said
sure.
the same. He said the same thing. Mongo says it all the time.
Yeah.
Right. I had the pleasure of meeting Mongo once, and he's a terrific guy.
He was.
We will miss you, Mongo. We will
Absolutely.
definitely miss you. And that part of me, I don't know. I can't describe it. When I got the news, I cried. Being from Chicago and watching the Bears for many, many years, watching him do his thing, Dan Hampton, as I mentioned, Owen Wilson, Mike Singletary, and all of the Hall of Fame defensive players for that 46 defense, which was
Oh my God, that defense was amazing. It's
yeah. Oh yeah, that defense was crazy. My wife and I talked about that defense like for hours one night. We were trying to go to sleep, and we remember every game that they play, every big game that they played in, and it's like you can't mention the 80s without mentioning that Bears defense. You just can't.
No, that was the best defense literally of all time. And I have never seen one that has done any better. I don't care what you say about the Ravens defense in the aughts. I don't care. But and the thing is that the Bears have always had that defense. And until they tried to make themselves, and they're still trying to make themselves into an offensive team. And I'm going, why? Just why? This isn't going to work. This isn't the Bears tradition. It's not their culture. It's not what they have in their DNA. Their DNA is in defense. So good luck to them in the draft tonight. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we will see what happens, and I'm almost afraid to see who the Bears pick in the draft in the draft now. And I'm almost afraid to see who they'll pick if they go offense or defense. They go defense, they do a good thing. If they go offense, it's a question mark.
It always is.
Every time they picked an offensive player in the draft, and you can trace that back to the late 80s. Every time they picked an offensive player in the draft, it's been a question mark.
Yeah. There has never been one taken that I've been that thrilled with. I don't care what they gave up for him. The things that still stick in my craw are like Rick Meyer, which was not a draft pick, but they gave up a first rounder for him.
Or Rick Meyer.
Yeah, I'm like, forget that. I'm like, that just told me the stupidity of any decision maker. And God love the McCaskies. I love the McCaskies. It's if they're not defense, they're not anything. Honest to God.
And I agree with that. The Bears have always had a running game and their defense in their DNA, and lately they haven't had that. And I talked to Mike earlier in the show, and the one sentence that everybody agrees with, including some Bear fans that are objective. They misuse DeAndre Swift.
Yes. Bingo.
They misused DeAndre Swift and misused him badly.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
he could have been a 2,000-yard rusher if the Bears only had their thinking caps on and gave him the football 25 times a game.
Yes, absolutely. But you know what? God bless him. We'll see. Whatever happens in Lambeau Field tonight, forget it.
And they had to have the draft at Lambeau Field.
Of all places, absolutely.
They had to have the draft at Lambeau Field. Okay. I understand the concept of them wanting to go to the different NFL cities. I understand that, and have it at the stadium. Have it at the NFL stadium. That all started in Kansas City after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl. They made the trek to Chicago, and it rained. And now they made the trek up to Green Bay, up to Lambeau Field. Okay. I may not have been a Bears fan for a while, but I hate Lambeau Field.
Just being a Bears fan, you have to hate Lambeau Field. So exactly. I've been there in my lifetime, and it's a very long trek.
It is. And Green Bay is one of those towns that shut down when the Packers play. Because I've been to Green Bay and I've been to Lambeau Field. Very historic place. Don't get it twisted. Very historic place.
Yes.
But as a fan, I hate seeing my teams go to Lambeau Field because something spooky and twisted always happens there. Right? Lambeau Field is one of those places where you're thinking, do I have to go there? You got to be thinking that as a player sometimes. I've been a fan of the 49ers all my life. Every trip they've made to Lambeau Field, I have shook in my boots. Because something stupid always happens at Lambeau Field to give them the advantage. Every time you see a game at Lambeau Field and you're going, I don't want to pick them.
No. It's so true. It's so true. Let's talk about something nicer.
Yeah, like the Caitlin Clark effect in Dallas.
Yeah, let's do that. Now, Paige Becker's coming in to Dallas. It's going to be interesting to see if she can do in Dallas what Caitlin Clark did for not only the Indiana Fever, but the WNBA. Can she be the transformative player that Caitlin Clark was for the entire league last year? And here's a couple of metrics. The Next had talked with Paige Beckers, the great online magazine. If you haven't subscribed to it, you must. It's a really great resource for the WNBA. I used to write for it 1,000 years ago, and mercifully, it happened to be when the Chicago Sky won their championship. So, yay! Anyway, here's a list that is going to really tell the tale of what Paige Beckers can do for the Dallas Wings and for the WNBA. First of all, you have to take a look at ticket sales. You have to look at engagement on social media. Third of all, merch sales. Mm-hmm. How many Paige Beckers jerseys have been sold since the day that she had gotten picked for the draft? I'm sure that the Paige Beckers jerseys were in production at that time.
I believe it.
Yeah,
I think probably. They were in production while they were clobbering South Carolina for the national championship.
Exactly.
I really believe the Wings jerseys were being printed while Paige Beckers, A, was still at UConn, and B, they were busy clobbering South Carolina for the national championship.
They
I
have
think that effect is real. I think the effect is going to be real.
I hope so.
Dallas.
Here's another one. New sponsor money.
Yes.
That's the key, man.
It is. It is.
Because the one thing the WNBA has opened up is an entire group of advertisers that may not have done it before, like cosmetics. You don't see too many cosmetics in the NBA, okay? Clothing lines, which everybody has. Doll likenesses, things like that. Mattel should be sponsoring the WNBA if they don't, and they need to make an Angel Reese doll. That's all I'm saying. They have a Sue Bird doll. They have a LeBron James doll. I'm sorry. They need to have an Angel Reese doll and a Paige Beckers doll.
Mm-hmm.
That Shy Barbie.
I agree.
They need those things. Okay. Now, training and wellness options as well. Let's put it this way. How many new training facilities are going up? I can think of two right off the bat. The Sky has one going up in Bridgeview in the next, I believe it's going to open in 2026. The Indiana Fever has got one that's going to be coming up. Dallas ought to be having one. The state of the art, no longer the gyms. I know Saks Recreational Center where the Sky are working out now. It's a very nice gym. That's it. It's not even all that nice, but it's a gym. They've been there since the beginning. So, it'll be nice to see them in a facility where they can get hydro baths, for an example, and other things, the good weights, the good stuff. There are so many things that the WNBA has had to skimp on. The final thing, and probably most critically, is where the team plays and how they fill the stadiums.
Right.
You can see this right now. The Wings are going to be playing at the College Park Center at UT Arlington. Okay, the University of Texas at Arlington. Yep. Regular sellouts will be a nice step forward, but if you want to see real growth, okay, next year they're planning to play at the Dallas Memorial Arena in 2026, and it seats 9,800, which is a step up from College Park Center. However, I want to see them play at American Airlines Arena, where the Mavs play. The seating capacity is 19,200. 19,200. And if the Wings do it right, and the Indiana Fever showed the way on how they capitalized on Caitlin Clark, 9,800 is not going to cut it.
It's not. It's especially now that Paige Beckers is a part of their team. That deal should have been done already.
Yes.
Because when Caitlin Clark was drafted, the season ticket sales went through the roof.
Yes.
The day that Caitlin Clark was drafted. Paige Beckers was drafted, and the season ticket sales for her should have gone through the roof as well. I mean, hell, they moved the game that they have against Indiana to American Airlines Arena in Dallas.
And guess what? Tickets there are going for $1,200 each.
Oh yeah.
That's amazing to my mind. Oh my God. So you can, the two of them together, you can sell a mean ticket. And on the secondary market, interestingly enough, Caitlin Clark is returning to Carver Hawkeye Arena and on Sunday, May 4th. And she's bringing the Indiana Fever with them for a preseason game as with the Brazilian national team. And those tickets sold out in seconds. And now they are going on the open market, your StubHubs, your Ticketmaster, all those secondary markets. And I just looked, and the secondary market tickets are going anywhere from $169 to over almost $500. I think it was $483. So we're talking about a very marketable commodity here. And what's more, this is the first preseason game that's ever been going on ESPN. No other game in history has been on it, but it'll be 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Central Time on ESPN, May 4th, Sunday, May 4th. You're not doing anything. It's you got to watch this.
Except that.
Yes.
Except that.
Right.
Folks, you got to tune into that. 15,500 at Carver Hawkeye Arena. The joint sold out in a matter of minutes.
That's it.
When they scheduled that for Carver Hawkeye Arena, I'm willing to bet you they bring the University of Iowa Hawkeye band out just to salute Caitlin Clark and the Fever. When she gets done, when they start signing autographs, the band plays on. So May 4th is going to kick off the WNBA season with a preseason game in Carver Hawkeye Arena. You can't tell me that 2 million eyes are not going to be watching that game at the very least.
I cannot imagine that it would be any less. So
I cannot imagine that either. I can't wait. I can't wait for that one to kick off the WNBA season. Now, we've asked the question, could Paige Beckers create a Caitlin Clark effect in Dallas? If they follow the Indiana
model,
blueprint, if they follow that Indiana blueprint, the Indiana Fever blueprint, there's no way they cannot create a Caitlin Clark effect and call it the Paige Beckers effect. And I think they will.
I certainly hope so.
I think by mid-season, I see them moving to American Airlines Arena, even though they announced they're going to play somewhere else. The likely arena for them to play will be American Airlines Arena because of the Paige Beckers effect. It's going to be nuts.
I sure hope you're right, hon. The thing that concerns me a little bit is that the Paige Beckers appears to be a golden goddess, if this makes sense to you. The fact is that she's very pretty. She's very there's something about Caitlin Clark that's very humble and very, girl next door. She's not the goddess that Paige Beckers can be. I mean, you look at that platinum blonde hair, and she is, I never had well, maybe I did when I was a little kid, but I never had that platinum blonde nuttiness. I was more, I was always like the strawberry blonde in the back, but and I turned red real fast. So it was really a matter of that relatability factor. Can she be humble? Is because that, I think, more than anything else, really tells you what is the appeal of Caitlin Clark. It is that she can be humble when discussing her team around her, how this wouldn't have happened without the team around her. And, Paige, it's going to depend on how generously she both distributes the ball to people like Erica Obenwally, who has been their go-to person for few years anyway.
Yeah.
Or Dejanay Carrington or Nelissa Smith or Tara McCowan, all which is their projected starting lineup for this year. They have all the tools. The question is, will the tools all work together to become this really good and delightful experience that and with the chemistry that they should have? Now, with Caitlin Clark, and her starting five, look at it's a good. It was a good mix. It didn't get them to the finals, but it improved them to the point where they were able to make a good run for the playoffs. And, they did what they needed to do together with their chemistry. Now this year, they're going to have a formidable coach in Stephanie White. So, the Indiana Fever's going to do, I think, extremely well this year. I think they've got the pieces that they need in order to make it work.
I do too. And I'm looking forward to see how those pieces fit with Caitlin Clark and how she plays under Coach Stephanie White. I can't wait to see all of that put together. And 44 games, 44 times we get a chance to see how good Caitlin Clark is in her second year. 41 of those games are going to be televised, which is stupid to me. You need to televise all 44 of those games with the schedule increasing to 44 games, getting more eyes on the league and more eyes on Caitlin Clark, because let's face it, Caitlin Clark saved the league from drowning.
Yes.
Now you have Paige Beckers in the league as well to help pull them up even more. Angel Reese is there to do this, do the same thing. You have the stars that are marketable in your league right now. You got two big ones, Paige Beckers and Caitlin Clark. That should be your headline. That should be your headliner, because the Wings game against Indiana would play that game, Gainbridge Fieldhouse, of course, and they're moving the Dallas game to American Airlines Arena because of the two headliners. Now you got your two headliners. You got to take advantage of that.
It's, I would say that there's a triumvirate that's working in the WNBA this year. There is Angel Reese. We can never count her out because of the way she dominated last year, the way she got the rebounds. She's now the rebound queen as well. And the thing is, she's got a sophomore season as well. And so I would say that there's a triumvirate. The other thing too is that this is a very diverse field. This is a very diverse group. You cannot put two individuals out there who are, just one part of the culture. We need every culture represented. I'm so happy with the Golden State Valkyries because you've got the first Asian American coach there. And I think, my God, let's get the plethora in there of all of who you have. And I think it's exciting. Another word on the Dallas Wings is that they are going to be better because they have elite scoring along with defensive versatility. they will be so much harder to guard against now. They will be a very tough group to do that. So Carrington, Dejanay Carrington has two-way play at small forward, and Nalissa Smith has all-around skills that are just wonderful at power forward, and they are providing the depth and the flexibility on the wing. So, which is exactly what they need in order to become champions of the league. And I think you will see them make a very deep playoff run this year. But
I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Let's go to Golden State, new franchise in the league, the Golden State Valkyries. And
the Valkyries.
I'm so looking forward to seeing them play as well. What do you think their projected starting lineup is?
It's going to be Julie Van Loo at point guard, Tiffany Hayes at small guard, then Kayla Thornton at small forward. You've got Monique Billings at power forward, and you got Temi Fegbenley, I think that's how you pronounce it, at center. Now, this starting lineup, again, blending the seasoned veterans from the special draft with strong defensive presence, which is something that they're going to be need. Now, Kayla Thornton has always been great. She's a good small forward. And then along with Billings rebounding and scoring, they're going to solidify those forward positions. And Fegbenley, forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I think it's right. Brian, can you confirm that? Because
you got it.
I totally hate it when I'm not sure about how to pronounce a name. But anyway, they are a very good anchor at defense, and that's why I think they are going to be more like the Las Vegas Golden Knights from hockey in their inaugural season. You know, I just see that it's going to.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Did I lose it? No? Hold on a minute. Uh-oh. Oh no. I lost Allie. Allie, we cannot hear you. For some reason, your mic has gone silent, and I don't know why. So I'll tell you what, let's take a break and let's figure some things out, and we'll come back in a few moments. Stand by.
This is Snowman in the Morning.
Are you ready to upgrade your coffee game? Prepare for an invasion of flavor with Invader Coffee. It's the caffeinated elixir that fuels champions, the blend that pushes boundaries. Whether you're battling deadlines or exploring uncharted territories, Invader Coffee has your back. Join the invasion at invadercoffee.com and taste the difference for yourself. Use the code Snowman for 15% off your first order. Invader Coffee, veteran owned.
Do you remember our first group photo? This is it. Smiles all around, even though we were all nervous.
Who could have imagined that our first weekend together would soon turn into a lifetime of memories?
You're an amazing young man. Your brothers and sisters really look up to you. They're a big brother.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
You know,
Took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
There are so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
I ain't never felt so much love before in my life.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the high five strangers got. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
Quinn.
Moment of clarity. I haven't watched BT in years.
KP.
Drake needs to come back with another triple platinum album.
E Digger.
And then you have Ray J. Like, I can't stand that River Cricket.
The Guru.
Okay, the level of crack she's smoking, I don't want it.
BS3 Network proudly presents the Knucklehead Chronicles podcast, where from card tips to hot topics to meep of the week, anything goes. Live every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Central.
Sports bettors, listen up. Your favorite sportsbook, BetUS.com, is back and in our 30th year of action. With live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props and parlays, fast payouts, and exceptional one-to-one customer service, we got it all. And when you sign up today and use the code Snowman, you will get a 125% deposit match on your deposit. Log on to BETUS.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. BetUS.com, where the game begins. Attention sports fans, looking for the ultimate gear and apparel to show your team pride? Look no further than Fanatics, the #1 destination for sports enthusiasts. Visit SnowmanMultimediaSports.com today and shop a wide selection of officially licensed merchandise from your favorite teams and players. From jerseys to hats to accessories to collectibles, Fanatics has it all. Don't miss out on the chance to elevate your game day experience. Head over to SnowmanMultimediaSports.com/Fanatics and gear up like a true fan with Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
It's no secret. Today's consumer wants convenience and likes things on the go. They want to be listened to and receive instant solutions to their queries. This can often make or break the customer service experience. That's why it makes convenient interactions easy for you. Whether your customers want to connect with you via text, Facebook Messenger, Google, Instagram, or website, all messages now come to the one easy-to-use inbox, so you don't have to check a dozen different sites from the platform. From here, you can send SMS or email, answer questions, schedule appointments, take payments, and close more deals simply by messaging back and forth with your customers. When someone searches for a business like yours, they will look at your reviews. So unless you have more positive reviews, they'll choose someone else. Luck makes it easy to collect hundreds or even thousands of reviews from your customers. Simply send a review invitation or create automation that requests customer reviews right after the sale, or maybe right after a service is completed. It will take them 30 seconds or less to leave the review. Now those reviews will show up on the search result and increase your ranking that matters most. Plus, our advanced reporting will show you exactly where your leads are coming from and if your website or ads are doing their job. So why are you waiting? Put your business way in front of your competitors, get more leads, convert more of those leads to paying customers by getting started with today.
Mister? How do you operate this Twitter thing or this Instagram thing or whatever the heck? You're supposed to know all this stuff. Anyway, welcome back to the show.
I swear sometimes when we get on a roll, technology just decides to stick their foot in our backside and cause an issue.
Can you
It
hear me
happens.
now?
I have you now.
All right.
It happens every dadgum time. Every time since Allie and I have become friends, every time, I swear to y'all, every time we get on the same line together, something technological pops up.
Oh, it's our chemistry, Brian. Messing with the universe.
Every time we're on the air together, almost every time we're on the air together, something technical pops up, and we're both going, "Wait a minute, we didn't do anything wrong. Why is this happening here?"
Don't know. Don't know. It's okay. It's okay. Well, we soldier through.
Yep, we soldier on. The power of a station break. Speaking of which, we owe y'all an ID. Let's pause for station ID. Very, very late. This is Snowman in the morning and all across our favorite networks.
This is WBWS-DB Chicago.
Allison Moran, Mike Drop Moran is with us. We were talking all sorts of WNBA stuff, and then somebody pushed the plunger on Allie's mic. What's up with that?
God hates me.
Oh boy. Somebody don't like us being on the air together. Let's continue.
Absolutely.
Let's continue our WNBA chat as we look at projected starting lineups. What do you think? Let's go to Indiana since we spoke to Clark and Stephanie White being the coach. What's the starting five on the floor that they put together?
Okay, so it'll be, of course, Caitlin Clark at point guard. You can't not have that. Kelsey Mitchell at shooting guard. Then DeWanna Bonner. I can speak.
Bonner. Yep.
DeWanna Bonner at small forward, and Natasha Howard, another forward, and then Aaliyah Boston at center. Now you've got, again, another great, powerful blend of youth and veteran experience. I thank God they kept Kelsey Mitchell because they had to, because, and I think that Aaliyah Boston has got so much strength and so much grit. I love that. And the thing is, DeWanna Bonner is such a presence. She's got leadership. She's got versatility at the wing. And then Natasha Howard at power forward adds grit and rebounding and defense at the four. Believe me, this is going to be a very powerful lineup, and I can't wait to see them on the floor. And they will be amazing. Did you put in your media credentials just yet?
Yes, I did.
Good.
Yes,
good.
I did.
Okay.
I'm waiting to see this lineup, and I see this lineup tear it up this year.
This is
especially with the improvements that they've made and the positions that they made, because they were really lacking a power forward, as you and I talked about.
Yes.
Now that you get all the experience, even though Caitlin Clark is heading into her sophomore year, into her second year with the Indiana Fever. She has a full year under her belt. She got a month off last year, which refreshed her legs. She took the winter off to get some more rest and get some more extra work in. And now I think we're only going to see more of what Caitlin Clark can do.
With a little maturity in the league, I think that's going to serve to her advantage. The other bad part, I think, though, is that a sophomore frequently goes through a slump. We've seen it time and time again, with the possible exception of Michael Jordan. The thing is that, Caitlin endured so much over the last several years, not just her last year as a rookie, but as a as a senior, she also endured a hell of a lot to get her team to the championship game. And my thought is that just like last year, these teams are going to be gunning for one person and one person only. And this team's going to get beat up this year.
Mm-hmm.
I give credit to Stephanie White's staff. They recruited the best of who they could possibly get from other teams. I think they had a fairly good rookie class who could learn from them. But I think the problem is going to be that this team has got a target on their backs. And this is a league that's really unafraid of going after the top dogs and giving them the most incredible beating that you've ever seen. Mm-hmm. So to my mind, it's going to be just a dogfight.
Yeah.
And you're going to see a much more aggressive game. You're going to see a game that is not, did you see the Golden State game versus the Houston Rockets last night by chance?
I did.
Yes.
It's simply that.
It was a beatdown.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Hope Jimmy Butler's okay. This is the kind of play I'm expecting throughout the WNBA this year, because it's a take no prisoners type of offense, and it's going to become just, I think, a bloodbath every night for every team. With the possible exception of the Golden State Valkyries, who are all new. But when you look at this roster, there are not a lot of rosters who have played together consistently through the years.
Mm-hmm.
They just haven't.
Right.
Look at the Sky. You've got Courtney Vandersloot, the general at point guard. She's going to be directing that offense. And how they attack is going to be really important. You also on the team have Ariel Atkins at shooting guard. You've got Rebecca Allen at small forward. You've got Angel Reese at power forward, and you've got the great Camila Cardoso at center. And the thing is that it's going to be. Vandersloot has ended up bruised and battered most of her WNBA career.
Correct.
Yes, and she has now. Atkins brings defensive abilities, and she and Courtney are going to make a really great team. And along with Reese coming out from her standout rookie season, we know that she's going to be a great rebounder and a great scorer again this year. However, they've got targets on their backs as well, especially Angel, because Angel is so pretty. She's got a pretty shot, and she too is entering a sophomore season where she's gonna have to get dirty, I think.
Yeah, I do. I think so.
Yeah, it's gonna be really hard.
It is. It is.
I'll tell you. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One more team to look at, and that's the defending champion New York Liberty, picking up their first WNBA title. And to be the champs, you have to beat the champs, and they have a powerful lineup that can't be beat.
They sure do. They've got Natasha Cloud at point guard. They've got the great Sabrina Ionescu at shooting guard. You've got Betnijah Laney Hamilton. She is recuperating from surgery. but she is going. She's projected to be in the starting lineup as we go forward. And then we've got Brianna Stewart at power forward and John Cole Jones, of course, at center. Now it's a star-studded lineup. Again, you're blending veteran leadership with elite talent. And I was recalling some of the things, though, without Courtney Vandersloot, what are they really going to be? Again, and that's why they got Natasha Cloud, because she's got the leadership skills. It's going to mean, too, that Sabrina Ionescu is going to be much more leadership material than maybe she had been last year. I mean, she's a scoring machine. Let's put it that way. She's got scoring and playmaking. She's got clutch performances on that side. She is going to be the key to how this team does this year. Of course, Brianna Stewart, the reigning MVP, she solidifies the front court with the scoring, rebounding, and defensive capabilities. John Cole Jones, the newbie, it brings additional strengths inside with her presence in the paint, and she offers both scoring and rebounding. So, but one of the interesting things that I've heard with this lineup is that a lot of fans are looking at this lineup and saying they're never going to repeat. They can't repeat. And I will take issue with that, because I think they could, given the proven veterans on this team. The question that I'm going to have, though, is about their chemistry together. And that is the key to whether they can repeat as champions or not. I know that Brianna Stewart, who's also, by the way, one of the Time 100 people, along with Nafisa Collier, as some of the most influential people because of Unrivaled. God bless him. I think that's the first time in the Time 100 category. But I'm seeing that that the New York Liberty will certainly be good, if not great.
It's going to be a fun season in the WNBA, just like it was a fun hour with our token female takeover and Allison Moran. Thank you, my dear, so very, very much. Love having you on each Thursday. Can't wait till next week.
Same here. Thank you, Brian. Have a great week.
You too.
Love you.
All right, we got to get the heck out of here. Tomorrow we'll recap round 1 of the draft. Who did good? Who did bad? Who did what? Who, what, where, when, and why? I'll have a draft special tonight, and we will kick things off at 7:45 p.m. If you want to drop by and hop online with us, you are more than welcome to do so. It's a draft party, Snowman style. Let's get out of here. Have a great day. God bless. Remember to make your next move your best move. And always remember, if your dreams don't scare you, they are simply not big enough. Dream big, do bigger. We are, and we hope you all are too. So long, everybody.